Welcome back. Well, when Dr. Andrew Seguya was appointed to a 5-year term as Executive Director for Uganda Wildlife Authority, a lot of people asked the question, what do you think he can do differently? Well, coming out of that process as considered one of the top people to have in this position because they knew he'd make a difference, we have him in the studio today as more or less as a privilege actually to help us understand the wildlife and tourism industry more than anybody, I think, really can. Uganda has been credited by all these international bodies, CNN Travel, all these tourism boards, Trip Advisory, Lonely Planet, which are all agencies that international communities turn to when they want to make their next destination. Why do you think that we're getting so much attention in at least the last 2 years?
Yeah, we're getting that attention because actually people are realizing that we are actually the Pearl of Africa. This is not a new concept. It's time in 1908 when Churchill came and he went all over Africa. He looked at Egypt, he looked at all the Southern African countries, and he said one thing: focus on Uganda, because this is truly the Pearl of Africa. Because the ingredients that make a destination are all here. Simple things like the climate. People leave winter and go to the beaches of southern France and Spain just to get some sunshine. Here you have sunshine all year. And you have it in a way that is not like, say, in Dubai where the temperatures are 45. It's always 20 to 28 the whole year round.
I think somebody like Edwin needs to hear that because earlier in the break he was telling us that Dubai and some other international countries seem to be his preferred destination. Edwin?
Well, Doctor, I had my reasons.
Yes. But you see, there you have an artificial situation that has been created. Yes, it has been created very beautifully, but here you have the natural situation. So you have the climate. If you tell yourself, okay, I want landscapes, start with the north, very flat, savanna. Say, oh, I'm tired of that. Come in the middle, go to Mount Elgon, cross over to Rwenzori. I have the mountains.
That's right.
Not only the mountains, but if I want to experience the 4 seasons of Europe, all I have to do is to climb Mount Rwenzori. Because when I'm at the bottom, I'm on summer. Then spring, then autumn. Then by the time I reach the top, I'm actually in winter. Because it's the only mountain in the world which is on the equator and has snow. So you can have all the 4 seasons of the world by just climbing that one mountain. You get tired of that and say, okay, I've seen the mountains. I need to see some forests. You have Chibale, Mugahinga, you have all these forests, Kagoma, you have Budonga and all that. You say, all right, I'm tired of that. Let me just see the hills, the rolling hills, go down. The Switzerland of Africa is actually here. Cavalry and all that. You say, okay, I'm tired of the landscapes. Can I see some water? The biggest freshwater lake, the second biggest is Lake Victoria. The longest river in the world, 30% of it, River Nile, is right here. So Uganda is that country because of the way that all these physical features come into this one country, 5 different ones. Then you have a country that has so many different things, it has forests, it has rivers, it has lakes, it has mountains, it has savannas, it has everything. But everything in measured. We don't have desert, the extreme, and we don't have, So now, because of that, then you have the variety of animals. Whereas Uganda is only 1% of the area of the earth, of the world.
Yes.
We have 17% of the world's life forms. 17% crammed into this small country. That's why you have 1,065 bird species, where the entire continent of Europe has only 700, and the entire continent of North America has only 650. Actually, all the birds in America are found in Queen Elizabeth National Park, just one of my parks. If you go to butterflies, I heard you talking about butterflies. You have the most beautiful varieties. Go to primates. There are so many countries that have only 1 or 2 primate species. In one forest in Chibale, I have 14 different primate species in one forest. get tired of that and say, I want to see the big five. They are here. No, 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 I'm tired of that. Can I see some gorillas? More than half of the world's mountain gorillas are right here.
Well, would you then agree, because Samson was on the set earlier telling us that maybe we are too, you know, the reason why as Ugandans we don't go off country to see some of these beautiful sites is maybe we can't afford it, or we live in a beautiful country but we can't attach ourselves to what's going on?
Well, it's a combination of things. I think we can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
I move around in town. If you go to places like Kabalagala, Kansanga, you go to Ntinda, actually people there can blow about 500,000 a night on drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need much more. If you look at my parks, an entry of a park, any park in Uganda, is just 10,000 shillings. That is money that can't even buy you lunch. Well, you could say that, oh, but I have to get there. Yes, you have to get there, but there are many ways that you can get there. But we are making it also easier. I think the way that we have formatted our tourism is quite a problem too, because probably we haven't given people options on how to actually access these places. We are working on that. We haven't given them as much information on what is available, and that's what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
We have to provide services for them once they're inside the park. Because one of the problems we've been having is that, yes, if you go to some of the parks, the lodges cost $300 a night and what. We have started on that. Now we have accommodation for Ugandans in Queen Elizabeth National Park. For 40,000 shillings, you can get a room in Queen Elizabeth National Park.
Mm-hmm.
And we have restaurants that sell African cuisine. It's not that when you go to the park, then you are going to be eating European cuisines and everything. Because we have realized people come to us because they want to experience Uganda. Now, but we have also to change the mindset. All of us, well, most of us have children. When you get a child, the first thing you say, oh, this kid has to go to school. You go out and get a school for your children. How many people set out and say, this year, I'm going to go for holiday in this country? Very few of us. We are always work. We go for burials religiously, and we go very far distances. You lose somebody in Kabale, people take all means to get to Kabale. Why wouldn't they take the same means to go to Lake Mburu National Park, which is just 2 hours from Kampala? We do everything else, but I think the mindset of taking a holiday, of knowing that I have to rest from my work, I need to go and enjoy the beauties of my world, of my country, is something we need to have in mindset.
I see.
And also to say that even when I decide to take that holiday, can I take it in Uganda? Half of the people will tell you, I need to go to Mombasa, I need to go to Zanzibar. Oh, I want to go to Cape Town. I want to go to Dubai. Can I go to London? London is so drab. You know, the sky is just in your face. But in Uganda, it's all open. The air is beautiful. So we need to also say that even when I've decided to get on holiday, Uganda is the destination. Because I want to tell you, if I ask the people in this studio, how many national parks have you visited? I may not want to get the answer.
Okay, Dr. Seguya, there are two from questions.
Yes,
one, you say behind the scenes that Kenya, the number one tourists are the Kenyans themselves, and lately it's been discovered that
Ugandans
are the second huge tourist, provide a huge tourism base for Kenya.
Yes.
Now, first, what is Kenya doing different that we are not doing? Then number two, talking figures. How much money are you rich every year through Uganda Wildlife Authority, and how much money is not being made? You gave us some statistics of primates, a specific breed of birds in America, where you said initially that they make about $4 billion, and we make
probably 200,000
US dollars,
yeah.
and yet we have
about twice the number of birds
that they have. So one, what is Kenya doing different that we are not doing that we need to do? Then secondly, how much are we making, and what's our potential net worth actually through just Uganda Wildlife Authority?
Actually, if you look at tourism, let us look broader than just Uganda Wildlife Authority. 2 years ago, we were only making $850 million from tourism business. In 1 year, we have taken that to $1.35 billion.
Okay.
And our target over the next 3, 4, 5 years is to go up to $5 billion.
Okay.
Kenya, you know, and South Africa too. And this is what these countries have done. South Africa had apartheid, and everybody shunned them. They said to themselves, if we are to sustain the tourism industry, we must make South Africans visit South Africa.
Yeah.
And they made definite steps to make sure they did that. Kenya, after the 1982 coup attempt, there was a lot of backlash from the Western countries. Everybody cut off aid and everything. Pretty much which is happening, you know, with all our things happening here, people cutting off aid and everything. And Kenyans said that we have to get Kenyans to love Kenya and to get to Kenya. And they took definite steps. And that's why I'm telling you that the #1 visitors in Kenya are Kenyans, domestic tourism. We must change the thinking of Ugandans. First of all, to make them know that they need to take holidays, they need to take time off their very, very busy schedules to actually go and relax. And two, it's good for their health and for their well-being. And two, that when they decide to do that, they don't need to look elsewhere, they need to look here. And three, they need to actually love what they have in terms of their wildlife and their destination, the landscapes and everything. I gave you a reason when we were having in the backside something. And I said, I was seated very close, you know, in your compound here, New Vision. And I said to you, if a warthog came and entered into that yard, right here, what would happen?
Sticks.
Sticks and chairs, people would come out with all sorts of, to confront this.
Yes.
And I took you back and I said, let us look in London or in New York. And a warthog disappeared from a zoo and entered an office block. What would happen? Cameras would come out, smart card, you know, I mean smartphones and what. You could even get a chopper from their equivalent of Urban TV, hovering over, you know, and when this thing is finally removed by the zoo, they would follow it to see its well-being, how was it settled into its new home, if you were, you know, mindset. If a snake entered somewhere, what would Ugandans do? Sticks would come out and hit it on the head. If a snake came out somewhere else, people would actually call their national SPCA and they would do, you know, protect it, that it's not injured and what. So we need to love the stock we have. We need to love the forest we have. We have lost over 35% of the forest cover of Uganda in the last 10 years.
Wow.
Cut down. I want to tell you, move into the center of London somewhere and cut a branch of a tree. You will not believe the hullabaloo that will be in London. You would be hounded out of London. If you are anybody working anywhere, you would be shut down for having pruned a branch, not even cut a tree, pruned a branch. So we need to look at the stock we have and love it. We need to change the mindset of Ugandans. And it's not a wildlife authority, it's not a UTB thing, it's not a ministry thing, it's all of us. Because changing the mindset of a country is a big thing, but it's something we need to do now. We need to start with ourselves and say, we shall see this country.
I see. You know, Dr. Seguya, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we want you to expand a little bit more on conservation, environmental protection, some of the issues that we are confronted with as a nation and also as a government. So hopefully we can do that in the next 10 minutes or so. Sure. We'll be back after this break. We're going to be talking more about how you can get involved in Uganda and Uganda's tourism. Back in a moment.
is urban